I'm wearing a watch that currently doesn't work. And I own my own car.
Should we reveal the answers?
Okay, I love Birmingham. I mean, I'm wearing a watch that doesn't work. And I own my own car.
See, I think I know the answer.
Yeah, same.
Okay, what was your answer?
Okay, my lie was that I have two sisters. I only have one brother. Yes.
Ooh.
Yes, well done if you got it right in the comments and down here.
So are you going to be playing guitar in church soon as well?
No. I'm not that good.
Okay, my lie. I wasn't baptized at the age of 11. I was baptized at 10.
Wow. We love that.
And my lie was I don't own my own car. I just borrow my dad's. So my watch doesn't actually work. It's
You had a car? Wait, why are you wearing a broken watch?
So I found it. I helped my mum tidy one of the cupboards today, and then I found a broken watch, and I was like, I remember this watch, and like I haven't worn it for like the longest time. So I put it on my wrist, and then sort of forgot to take it off.
So
But
now you just
I
have
feel
it.
like I'm feeling it. I'm just gonna wear it as an accessory.
It looks nice,
I never
yeah.
fixed it.
Yeah.
You're
right there.
Anyway, yeah. Moving on from broken watches, we have a Kahoot next. So we're going to welcome Abalash and Chris as we go for our Kahoot.
And Abalash has a great watch that I don't think is broken. Abalash, does your watch work? Does your watch work?
Yeah.
Awkward.
It works. So, hello.
Hi guys.
How are we doing? We're
How are you all?
Yeah. We're all good. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm good.
Yeah.
You
How's
good?
your week been?
It's been fine.
Yeah,
Lots of tests,
sweet.
but it's still good.
Calm. Same. So yeah, been pretty much doing all like tests the whole week. Just finished off.
Most
relaxing,
of it.
you know, just relaxing. Let us know how your week's been in the comments. We'd love to get to know how your week's been. And we're going to be going on to Kahoots. Who's ready for Kahoots?
I know I am.
Yeah, sweet. So we're going to be going to the back. Who's going to run down? Right, so here's the code. Code's on 7202286. Just waiting for people to log on. There we go. Honest snail. Wow.
I hope they're not
Honest
slow to the
yeah.
answers.
Right, but slow. Damn. Who's on the snail? Is there someone in here?
I remember Stompy Wombat like ages ago. Like
That was
his
hilarious.
name. That was funny.
Jokes.
I loved it. I made that my background on my laptop. It's like a wombat. Oh, we have Groovy Llama.
Ruby Llama. Sounds a bit like Adewale. In them grooves. Smooth Unicorn. What are these names?
Wow.
Hey. Emily Smooth Unicorn.
Lucky
Glowing
Bow.
Glider. Lucky Bow. Is that you? That's Malachi. Wow, Lucky Bow. Mountain Coat, Josh Pedro coming up. Oh, it's not there. On a snail, Rapid Hen. Wow, these names are crazy.
Lively Yeti.
Dynamic Bison, Money Club, let's go! Money Club. Oh gosh. I'm gonna wait for more people to join.
What would your name be, Ablash, if you could pick one?
Ooh. Yeah, Foolish Mountain Goat, FGM.
Ah.
FGM.
I'd go
FGM.
Rapid Hen.
Goes way back. It's FGM. It's Foolish Goat Mountain. Foolish Goat Mountain? Yeah.
Joyful Quail.
These names are crazy, man. Joyful Coil.
Let me get in on this. What have we got?
not whale tongue.
All right, let's do 5 minutes. We'll do 5. No, 2 more minutes. We'll do 2 more minutes and then we'll start.
2 more minutes and we're
Sound good?
starting.
2.
Signing in, people. Come on.
What's your highlight of your week then, Ablash?
Finishing off exams. I'm done.
2.
Gonna have to go back into school.
Highlight of my week was probably just being here with you guys. I promised I wouldn't.
Oh. Got 11 people. Some people are signing up trying to change their names. But yeah. Right, let's go. Let's get started.
Which movie is this?
Emoji edition.
So you gotta guess the emojis. Which movie is it?
Oh gosh. I think I know what it is. Yeah. Lightning McQueen. Has to be Lightning McQueen for sure.
Oh, that's a good one.
Has to be Lightning.
I like
Snakes on plane. Ooh.
that.
One
I feel sorry
person.
for the
This
person
is
who
one
said
person. Groovy Llama.
So we have
leading.
Groovy Llama at top, followed by Joyful Quail, and then Lively Yeti.
Wow. Groovy Llama.
Which movie is this?
Oh, Jack Frost, right?
That's definitely The Shining. I mean, that's clearly the bit where he's pushed in the freezer.
Oh wow. There's just one person getting it wrong. Come on, man.
Ooh, Lively Yeti going up to second, Joyful Quail going down to third.
Wow.
Groovy Llama still got their lead.
Groovy Llama. Who's Groovy Llama?
Which movie is this?
Bolt. As you saying Bolt there.
That's...
Wow. Josh Pedro is part of the 3. Wow.
Oh, Joyful Quail went down.
Groovy Llama's
Now
still in the
Smooth
lead.
Unicorn has moved into third place.
Rapid hand
Groovy
with
Llama's still holding
answer
strong
streak of
on
3
first.
as well. Damn.
Which movie is this?
Okay. No aliens.
Ah, that's a clever one. I like that.
Ellis Smalley with aliens.
Josh, did you?
Baka Yaro, look at me.
That was Men in Black. Ah.
Groovy Llama still in the lead.
Oh, Joyful Quail back into second.
Lot of movement
Unicorn
in the
third.
lead.
Groovy Llama.
Who is Groovy
in the
Llama?
lead. Who is
Comment,
Groovy Llama?
comment. The winner will get
Oh,
pizza sent home from
Groovy
Ellis
Llama
David
is
Morley.
next. This one slowly goes by, reveals itself over time.
It's Little Mermaid.
Ah.
You can see the Little Mermaid right there. Oh, that's not a mermaid. This has to be easy. Josh Pedro is yellow. It's red.
Oh, you could have
Oh,
had
wow.
either Finding Dory or Finding Nemo. Ooh,
Wow.
Smooth Unicorn. moving
Emily
up
moving
again.
into second place there. Joyful.
I feel sorry for
Oh, that
Joyful
is
Quail
right.
who gets pushed down every time.
Yeah.
Which movie is this?
Josh Pedro's in there. Wow. How is Josh Pedro managed to get in there again?
It's 100% up. Oh! Smooth
Emily,
Unicorn up to
Emily
first
into
place.
first
Groovy Llama
place.
has
Wow.
gone down. Joyful Quail in second.
Congratulations. Damn.
Which movie is this?
Oh, come on. You should get this. You should get it. That is Stuart the Little straight away. Stuart Little. Wow, everyone actually got this one.
Sweet.
Everyone actually got this.
Oh, no
So if you want to know who is
changes.
actually last, it's Josh King Pedro.
All in the same spot.
Josh King Pedro is at last place. Which
movie
movie
is
is
this?
this? Focus, come on. The idea, you can see the light bulb there. There
There's
is
a lot
now.
of uncertainty in the group at the moment.
Ellis Molly's onto something here. 3 seconds to answer. It's
Inception.
Inception.
Ooh. A lot of people going for very different answers there.
Such a good movie that.
Whoa, huge change.
Fall from grace.
Rapid Hen.
Rapid
is
Hen
in
into
the
first place. Focused out.
Which movie is this?
is this?
Oh, it's another one that reveals over time. The faster you guess it, the
A
better.
lot of sea creatures there. That, yeah. All of them belong in a pizza. Imagine that. Yeah, come on, look at that.
It's definitely
Tiki.
Jaws.
Wow. Yep,
It was
everyone got
the
that right.
mermaid. Oh, Groovy
Groovy
Llama is
Llama
going
back.
back up though.
Yep.
Smooth Unicorn moving
A
down
couple
to
of
fourth.
streaks in there.
Rapid Hen still in first.
10 questions.
Maybe
5
this.
more to go. Ooh. What is this? What on earth is this? This is, yeah. This is confusing. Forest. Is that
That
Camp,
is the
that's the
Jungle
camp,
Book.
isn't
You can
The
see
camp's from
Mowgli
York.
there in the middle.
Oh!
It is the Parent
I'm
Trap.
sorry. Oh, wow.
Very
Yeah.
mixed there. Loads of different answers all around.
Oh,
and,
Rapid
huge
Hen.
change.
Rapid Hen is still going.
Glowing
Wow.
Glider. All
Glowing
the way at
Glider
second.
into
Joyful
second.
Quail in third. Rapid Hen still claiming their first place
Wow.
with a huge
Lot
streak of 10 correct answers in a row.
Rapid Hen is rapid.
Which movie is this?
Oh, you should know this. Come on.
This is definitely. Oh, I don't know.
This is a sick movie. This is a sick movie.
Ah, it was Wally! Who put the Martian?
Wow. I thought it was a Martian. I thought it was a
Oh,
Martian.
Joyful Quail in second, Lively Yeti in third. Oh, it's another revealing overtime one.
Dinosaur,
I think
alien,
I know what it is.
person with a hat. Ah, there you go. There you
That
go.
is Jurassic
Yeah.
Park. It must be.
Yeah, this is
It's
too
not
easy.
Jurassic Park.
This
I'm
is
going
too
to be
easy.
sad.
There's a hot potato.
Wow, 5 people saying it's Jurassic
5
Park.
people got
there.
it wrong. Wow.
Smooth Unicorn up to second
Rapid
place.
Hen.
Glowing Glider into third.
Lex
Which
Samoli
movie is this?
first place. Wow.
Ooh.
Ooh. Crown Rose. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's that one. It's that one. It's that one. This is Harry Potter, right? Because it's got a broomstick. It should be Harry Potter. Where's Harry Potter?
Shrek and the Beast.
Got it wrong, Malachi. It's Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
Rapid Hen.
Joyful Quail
to
back
win.
into third
Wow.
place. Elias is proud because he is in
Ellis Paul making it in
fifth.
the podium.
2 more questions left.
Oh!
Oh, I understand this one.
Ah, he does. People are losing connection.
Ellis has lost connection. Oh no,
Loads of
it
prawns
was
are gonna be
Monster
breaking
Inc.
by the end.
I can't believe someone went with Gremlins there though. Oh, Dynamic Bison into
Wow.
third.
Wow.
Final question, which movie is this?
This is crazy. Ah.
Oh, I think think I know what this
All I
one
know is there's
is.
witchcraft involved in this. Look at that.
I wonder if any of you have got this.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
big.
Wow. It's a big. I've never seen that one.
Very
Big.
mixed there.
Big.
So in third place with 1,100
Focus
points,
Stan.
we have Focus Stan. Second place with
Smooth Unicorn.
Whoa, we got
First place.
Smooth Unicorn. First place, Rapid Hen with
Rapid
15 out of
Hen.
15. Every single one of them was correct.
Wow. So Josh
Oh.
Pedro ended up in second
Put a
place.
clap
So
emoji in the chat for Rapid Hen. They did amazing.
Okay. While these two get back to stage, I can tell us what the scores were before this game. So, if you were a gladiator, a Viking, or an Aztec, put now in the chat so we can allocate points. So, before this started, the gladiators were on 9,515. Yep. And the Aztecs were on 9,570. So just like 50-point difference. Vikings in the lead with 10,260. So, Chris and Abalash, can you reveal what the scores are now?
Okay, so the current scores at the moment. We have Gladiators with 9,515 points. RIP.
R.I.P. Rest in peace.
Then we have Aztecs with 9,570 points. They're slowly getting up there.
Ooh, not bad. Catching
And then,
up.
of course, in first place, we have Vikings with
Yeah.
10,000 points, 260. Oh, that's quite high.
Yeah. You need to add. How much? 1,000. So who won? Aztecs. So 1,000 to
1,000 to the Aztecs. So 10,570.
yeah. That's 10,500. 500 to
Aztecs are on 12,070 points.
wow. 250. Oh my
And the
days.
Gladiators now have 9,775 points. Yeah, quick
Crazy.
maths.
That is crazy. Quick maths there. That was quick. Right in. So that has been extraordinary Kahoot.
Hope you enjoyed it.
So it's still the same, right?
Yeah.
Aztecs
Aztecs
are.
has now
Oh wow.
climbed into first
Aztecs
place.
first.
Vikings now in second.
place, and last but not least, Gladiators.
Come on, Gladiators, we can still do this.
No, we can't. Right. Then we're going to hand it over to the hosts of the show, Malachi, Rachel, and Natasha.
How great
And
did
we're
those
back.
guys lead? Like,
Yeah, they were
lovely
great.
Kahoot.
I'm a little bit gutted, I'm not going to lie.
So,
But you know what? We'll bounce back.
Just saying.
Next week, the Vikings will be on top again.
And
We're on
then
top.
Gladiators.
Well, hang on. My speech isn't finished yet. My speech isn't finished. Wait.
I'm going to cut you off. 'cause
No.
Gladiators is going to win next week.
No.
Gladiators
Yeah,
are winning next
the
week.
crowd is, the crowd's chanting. Let me speak. We've been on top for at least like I don't know, a year, yeah, a decade
So
maybe.
you've had your turn, and now
And now,
Aztecs and Gladiators have a chance.
yeah,
And I feel like we're going to come for your throne. We've got
yeah,
this.
we're coming
We're
for
doing
you.
this. Come on, Gladiators.
Yeah, go Gladiators.
Still last.
Put some love
Still
in the chat
last.
for your team. Talking of teams, like how great are XY groups? Just saying.
Yep. Yep.
My favorite thing about XY groups is I get to spend time with gladiators. Like
Yes.
none of
Yeah.
the rest of the teams, just gladiators, and I love it. Yeah. What's
yeah.
your favorite thing being about XY groups, other than being gladiators? Same?
Being a
I think I
Viking?
would say no. I think I would say that being with people from all age groups, being able to talk to people who are younger than me and older than me, and just being able to interact with people who I might not have talked to has been really, really great. Yeah. What about you, Malachi?
Yeah, yesterday we had great fun. We were playing a game where you shoot each other with eggs, and somehow you died. It was really weird. I was rubbish. Ellis was great. I think he cheated. Either that
feel
or,
like
or
he's,
he's been
played
playing.
that game
Either
quite
that or
a
he's been
lot.
playing for too long. Like,
Yeah, it's
I
probably
think-
addicted,
yeah.
but you know.
Well, it's like our group. Like we play Mario Kart, and Chris has played a lot of Mario Kart, and Chris wins every time. Sometimes Tammy wins. Tammy, shout out to you if you're watching.
Shout out, Tammy.
But yeah, Chris does win quite often,
Yeah,
and my Mario Kart game isn't that strong. Just saying.
same. I'm always last.
the only way is up.
Still keep trying.
Yeah. But if you feel
You could
like
say
you
that to
could beat
gladiators
us,
as well.
Make sure you drop a comment in the chat, and if you're not in an XY group, come join one of our XY groups, and maybe you could beat Malachi at. What is
I
it
don't know what it's called. I don't know what
egg
it's
game?
called. Anything.
The egg
Wait, hang on.
game.
What?
Maybe you can egg Malachi. Or like, come beat Chris. If you feel like your Mario Kart game is strong, come join the gladiators and beat Chris. Just
Yeah.
saying.
If you want your empire to win, join the Vikings.
Ooh, but you're not winning right now.
Gladiators are gonna
Wow.
win. Don't even.
Wow.
Don't even.
Gladiators, isn't it?
We're coming up.
It will be gladiators. I'm just speaking prophetically, like it will be gladiators. Cool. We have a great time coming up next. We're going to go into a time of worship.
Yeah.
And
Guys.
Oh, thanks, worship.
Let her talk.
Like, yeah, and we're really excited for what God's going to do. Like, if I'm speaking prophetically, the gladiators will go in, but like I'm also speaking prophetically that you're going to have a great time. You're going to have a great encounter with God. And we're going to sing a song called New Thing, and I'm really feeling that God's going to do a new thing in you, and that actually we're preparing for change. This whole series, that is the word, thanks Alexa. The whole series about prepping for change, and I really feel that God is working in your life and going to do a great thing. So let's go to worship.
These are the days that we prayed for. A stirring of faith has begun, and I've seen so much, still I'm certain that the best has not yet come. 'Cause Jesus, you're not done with me. You're doing a new thing. You're doing a new thing. And I see a wave of revival preceded by justice and praise. The young and the old run to Jesus, and all the sins that hold us back are laid to waste. Jesus, you're not done with me. You're doing a new thing. You're doing a new thing. For all I've seen, I still believe. You're doing a new thing. Yes, you're doing a new thing. Oh. Your love is never gonna give up. You never give up. You never give up on me. Your love is never gonna give up. You never give up. You never give up on me. Your love is never gonna give up. You never give up. You never give up on me. I know. I know. Your love is never gonna give up. You never give up. You never give up on me. Your love is never gonna give up. You never give up. You never give up on me. doing a new thing. You're doing a new thing. For all I've seen, I still believe. You're doing a new thing. Yes, you're doing a new thing. Sing your love. Your love is never gonna give up. You never give up. You never give up on me. Your love is never gonna give up. You never give up. You never give up on me. Your love is never gonna give up. You never give up. You never give up on me. I know. Sing your love. Your love is never gonna give up. You never give up. You never give up on me. Your love is never gonna give up. You never give up. You never give up on me. Your love is never gonna give up. You never give up. You never give up on me. I know. It's just you're not done with me. You're doing a new thing. You're doing a new thing. For all I've seen, I still believe. You're doing a new thing. Yes, you're doing a new thing.
That is so good. We're so glad that you're back. I hope that you enjoyed worship. Isn't it
Yeah.
so good?
It's so good to worship together.
So good to worship together. I was having some time today. I just felt God speaking to me. I think worship's so powerful because it's time with just you and God.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean? As much as we can put on youth, as much as we can try and preach our hearts out and give you all the good stuff, truth is the best person to go to if you want to feel God's presence is God.
Yeah.
And that's why we worship. Come before him, sing to him, praise him. And we've got some big news.
Big.
All right, we've got some big news
Huge
coming up.
news.
So I want you to get a bit excited. Are we a bit excited in the room? Yes,
Send
we
some
are.
emojis in
Yes,
the
we
chat.
are.
Just go
So
mad.
there's something that we were going to do not next Friday, but the Friday after that we've decided we're going to do next Friday.
We're too excited. We have to do it
We
next
can't
Friday.
wait any longer. That is right.
We must.
Next Friday, we will be
Drum roll.
meeting in person
Oh.
at the park. Hey! Let's go. So, if you are part of Dartford Youth, we're going to be going to Dartford Park.
Ooh.
If you're part of Sittingbourne Youth, we're going to be going to a Sittingbourne Park or potentially Cromer's Corner. Hopefully that's, all kosher. So basically, live stream is awesome. We've loved it. It's been so much fun. But we just really feel as a youth ministry, as youth pastors, me, Lex and Tony, that it's time to actually see each other, hang out, play rounders, play dodgeball, play bulldog.
Yeah.
That is right. Because of COVID guidelines at the moment, we can meet in unlimited bubbles, which means I can thrash you at rounders, and that's okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you better be ready. You better bring your A game. So we're going to be meeting it out in the park. Now, we're going to post all the information to our Instagrams. So if you don't follow Extraordinary Youth, follow right now at Extraordinary Youth or at extra_youth if you're from Sittingbourne. And all of the information is going to be posted on where, what time, what you need to bring, consent forms, all that. We'll do that all online, make it
Yeah.
easy peasy lemon squeezy.
It's going to be sick. I want to hear another cheer from the room.
Cheer
'cause
for
I
the
feel like
room.
we need to get a bit more excited in here.
Jeez!
It's good news. We're on the other side.
We're
It's
on
what
the other
series
side.
is all about. We
That's
are going
right.
to the other side, which is rounders next week.
Which means we're
at the
ending our
park.
mini-series tonight, unexpectedly.
It's a mini
I
series.
guess we are, aren't we? So it's a really mini-series.
Super small.
Just like I was very mini when I was at school. I was
It's
this
like a
big.
little one of those little McFlurries. Like it's good while it lasts,
While it lasts.
but there's better on the other side.
So without further ado, we're going to get right into the next section, which we're going to be breaking down the other side, right? But this week we're doing it as real talk, all right? So what I want you to do is this. I want everyone in the room, everyone online, I want you to send us in questions, all right? We've been speaking about last week, I preached my little socks off about how God is always changing you, he's changing me, and he's changing what we're doing in our town.
Yeah.
And actually what God has called you to do is to reach people for Jesus. He's called you to change as a person. Like God loves you enough for you not to stay the same,
Yep.
but for you to grow, for you to change, to bring on new skills, new talents, new adventures, new dreams.
Yeah.
And so tonight we're going to be unpacking all of that in a really real way with some really good questions, but we want your questions as well. So I'm going to be looking in the chat. So let's not delay it any longer. Why don't we welcome our special guests to the stage, Youth Pastor Tony and Pastor Pedro.
Yeah, Pastor Pedro. Okay.
I feel like I got to hit Josh up with the pastor title. It's just because of that preach that you've
I
sung
feel
there.
like he's in the thumbnails on Fridays
It was
enough
so
to be
good.
to be called pastor.
That preach was so good. Fear is a lie. Jeez. Okay. So,
On it.
anyway, that was the last series. Also, if you see the fact that I'm in sliders, all right, it's not a fashion statement. I'll tell you about it later. All right.
Ask him in person. We're not
Ask me
saying
in
on the
person.
stream.
But doctor's orders, all right, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so, lockdown's been bonkers, isn't it? And it's nearly over. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
2 more months. So what I want to know and what we all want to know, in fact, I want you to type in the chat your answer to this question, right? What is one habit or thing you started in lockdown that you're going to keep going forward? One habit or thing you started in lockdown that you're going to keep. One change that you're going to keep going forward from lockdown. So, Pedro, why don't we start with you?
Okay. One thing that I've started to do is actually do like a little workout in the morning.
Okay.
Like, do some training, do all that.
Little press ups, little.
Little,
Yeah.
little thing. But yeah, that's something I'm trying to continue.
Sick.
Nice.
Tony, what about you?
I think I've just learnt to be really intentional with my rest. So like, I suddenly was really aware of the crazy busyness of life before lockdown. So having like 3 children, Chris worked through most of lockdown, and I suddenly really appreciated time with them. So I've made like a real commitment to actually on my Mondays and my Wednesdays when I'm not working. That is my time off to be intentional with family time and stuff.
Yeah, that is so
That's
good.
really
Make
good.
sure you rest. God demands it. The Sabbath's not for him, it's for you.
Yeah.
Go on, Lex.
So good. We've been doing this thing over the past few weeks. It's actually pretty recent. I'll say this week. We're not that good. It hasn't been in weeks yet. But me and Ellis
no,
have...
it's been weeks in some way. It's been weeks. Well, hey, I'll let you explain, and then I'll explain how it has been.
Anyway, so we have this morning alarm in our house. And this morning alarm only switches off when you go to the QR code that we've hidden in the house and scan it. And over the past week, we have decided to move the QR code, people.
Yeah.
Revolutionary, but we have one of those Ottoman beds, like the ones that pull up and you've got storage underneath. And so what we've done is we've put our QR code under our bed. So you have to both be out of bed, lift the bed, scan the QR code, and as soon as you do that, you got to make the bed. And it's changed my life.
Honestly, it's a game changer, legit. The
I wouldn't
QR
recommend
code,
it to anyone.
So good.
It's torture, but it's great.
I've been doing it for the past year, but I did it above the coffee machine. So I'd have to wake up and I'd listen to this. Hang on.
Oh, it gives me shivers.
Will it play?
Is this the noise it plays?
Yeah, I should be able to play
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah. It's pretty mellow
And is
right
that-
now. At 7 a.m. it's not as mellow.
I mean, it's a banger, isn't it? That's a sick alarm.
I'll put the Apple one on now and everyone in the room will be like, ugh.
Yeah, if you want to do what we're doing, legit, if you want to be a QR code member, it is called...
Don't do it.
What's it called?
I'm not signing up.
Let's just park that one.
No, I want to share with the people.
I feel like this.
Oh, it's called Alarmy Morning Alarm. All right, look it up, App Store. On the
Alarmy.
Android store, there's an app called Sleep, which does the same thing. Because I used
for
to.
brick phones.
Yeah, brick.
Asking for a friend.
Brick phones. For brick phones, you get a
For
brick
brick
alarm.
phones, you don't deserve to wake up.
You get one of those old alarms, and then you store it under your bed, or like on a really high shelf. But the reason we did that is
Yes.
because the way you start the day affects your whole day.
It does.
And it's true. Like if we start the day proper, like get up at a set time every day, it's helped us with like energy. Like lockdown, I became a zombie. Like literally, being able to sleep in longer and not
Working
having
from home.
working from home, not having a set routine. So it's actually helped me to develop a better morning routine. I know this sounds like I'm like some sort of lifestyle fitness coach. Wake up on time.
This is not a preach. This is a lifestyle.
But you know what?
change.
Honestly, genuinely, sometimes to be better spiritually, you have to just be healthy.
True.
And that's just helped us to, boss the mornings. Hashtag boss it. All right.
Boss babe.
Okay, next question. Okay, how do we get ready for change? That is the question. How do we get ready for change?
It's a good question.
Let's start the reverse way around. So Lex, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I think one thing that's really important about getting ready for change is not getting too caught up in the possibilities of what could be. I think something that holds me back from stepping into change confidently is thinking about all of the different possibilities, like, oh, I could walk into that room and trip up and everyone could laugh at me and I could be called Mrs. Trip Up for the rest of the time I'm there. Just like really silly stuff like that. I think one thing about preparing yourself for change is being conscious about what you're thinking, being conscious about what you're dwelling on and not dwelling on what could be, but actually one thing that I find is really helpful is dwelling on God's word, dwelling on what is truth and what God has said in the past and will say about your life in the future.
So?
I feel like that really summed it up.
I just took everyone's
that was
answer.
really good. I was literally gonna say, don't overthink it. Don't sweat the small stuff. I'm one that, lots of people that know me, I don't do change. I don't do it easily. I do it, and I push myself to do it. But I have struggled with change. Even if I know it's coming, even if it's a sudden change, I'm like, wah! I'm the panicker. Like, okay, freeze, let's think this through. But I think don't overthink it. Just, trust that God has got you in the palm of his hand, that whatever he's put in front of you, and if you're following him, he's not gonna fail you. So don't overthink it and just fully trust that God's in every detail.
That's really good. Yeah, I think it's all about foundations. If your foundations aren't in the right place, one change of the wind and you're falling apart and you're a mess. As soon as something changes in your life, you're all over the shop. So just set your foundations. I'm going to move to a question starting with Josh. Right? I want to ask you this question.
He looks scared.
The pressure.
Right. I'm going to shake up the order a little bit, but how do I prepare for the change of GCSEs? Going from year 9 to year 10, how do I get that right? Because it's a lot of pressure, isn't it? Suddenly, all my days, my whole life's over if I get a D. So, what would you say, Josh?
Okay. I would say, first of all, just remember that what grade you get is not the be-all or end-all. It's not what's going to define your life.
Yeah.
Although it might affect your life, but it's not everything in life. But I do think you have to prepare, prepare yourself spiritually. So remind yourself of what God says about you. Encourage yourself, motivate yourself. But you have to put in the work as well. God is He's gonna multiply what we do. So we put in the work. He's gonna multiply it and let us do whatever, get the good grades, whatever. But if you put zero work just because you're a Christian, think, let me put a quick prayer before the exam and I'll get A star, even though I didn't revise or whatever.
Sorted.
That's not.
Who's
that's
done
not
that?
gonna happen.
Come on, put your hand
That's not
up.
gonna happen. That's not gonna
Who
happen.
hasn't done that?
Exactly, 0 times 1,000 is still 0. 0 times 1,000,000 is still 0. But I think you put in your work, you put in the effort, you still focus on spending time with God. I think the changes to GCSEs or anything, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, it's good. I think just because the pressure changes doesn't mean who you are and your priorities has to change. Suddenly there's this big pressure, but school is always the same, right? God wants you to treat school the same in year 9 as he does in year 10. God's not like, okay, now suddenly you have to try. Actually, God wants you to bring your best in everything that you do. Because everywhere you go, you represent him. And this is something that I definitely struggled with because I hated school. I really didn't like school. But I realised this, I need to learn to stick things through to the end. Even the things I don't like GCSEs, I am going to try just because that's how I represent God. I'm going to try in everything. So yeah, like Josh said, if 0 multiplied is still 0, but the effort you put in, God multiplies it. Suddenly you're getting the grades you never thought were possible, or getting the opportunities you never thought were possible. Because not all of us are going to get good grades. Like, let me tell you right now, if you get a D in maths, you're not a failure, all right? You're just
Join
not
me.
you're not good at maths, all right? Maybe maths just isn't your calling. And if you want to know what your calling is, rewind. Who's calling? We did a whole series.
The series is still up.
Did a whole
if
series.
you want to watch.
Tony, what about you? What would you say about preparing from year 9 to year 10 or 11? I know your time at Westlands was probably a little bit different, so fill us in.
I mean, I loved school, but more, I think, for the social aspects. It was just proper laugh, weren't it? So I never really, I'm saying like, weren't it, like you was there.
Weren't it?
I remember.
Weren't it, like many, many years ago. I think I didn't, if I could set you guys up to win, I would give you the advice that maybe I never really fully understood or grasped. And that was, like, yes, exams are not the be-all and end-all, but they do count for something. And even the fact that I didn't put in as hard a work as I could because I messed about a lot. I mean, I'm still sitting here like I'm serving God, and I don't think my life would be that much different. But in terms of setting a foundation, like what Ellis said, I think that starts at your age. Something that I guess I didn't grasp the concept of until I was much older. So I think going back from year 9 to year 10, my friendship group did just naturally change because the ones that were focused on education kind of stopped being the ones that messed about. I should have been in the group that stopped messing about, but I wasn't. But if I'd have set the foundation then of, okay, I need to study hard, I need to put in effort here, I guess I could have got a lot better grades. And my grades weren't awful. I did all right. But yeah, I think just be intentional with setting foundation. Don't be afraid to be the one that goes against the grain and say, actually, I am going to stick at my education. I'm going to put the effort in, and I can't always be the class clown.
That's really good, Tony. All right, well, I'm going to ask this question, moving from GCSEs now to A-levels.
A doozy.
For some of you, IB. For some of you, maybe apprenticeship. But Lex, how do I prepare for the change of A-levels, that year 12, year 13 age, and responsibilities that come with that?
Yeah. I think everyone goes into A-levels knowing that it's going to be much harder than GCSEs because it's 2 very intense years where you're only doing like 3 or 4 subjects. So in the natural, it looks like it's going to be really difficult. But I really want to encourage you guys with something that I did in my A-levels, and I ended up with all right grades. I got to where I needed to be. But I want to encourage you to keep habits like being a part of youth and church, because it's not only investing into your future by revising, it's not only investing into your future by thinking about what university you want to go to, but it's investing into your future by planting the seeds in the time that you've got. I think for A-levels, people bury their heads a bit. I'd say that everyone's so focused on their studies that they don't really reach out to others and try and make new friendships or reach out and see how people are doing because they're so focused on getting the right grades in this short amount of time. But I want us to be different. I want us to be a generation that look for those people that are struggling, look for those people who need friends, because we all need friends. And I think in A-levels, you can get so swamped with everything that it's really hard to find that. And so, yeah, when exams end, what will you have as fruit? What will you have invested in?
Good, yeah.
And also, I was reading John 5 this week. I'm going to bring the Bible into it a little bit.
Come on now.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it basically talks about Jesus healing the man at the pool on the Sabbath. Sabbath. It is important to rest. But in this instance, Jesus did heal a man on the Sabbath. But it says that this man could not walk for 38 years. And I can imagine when Jesus said, pick up your mat and walk, he was a bit like, what are you trying? Like, I haven't walked in 38 years. Like, what makes your words so different? And I think we can look at A-levels like this. We've just gotten through GCSEs and we're like, what makes this different? This is just another set of exams that's going to stress me out just as much. But Jesus is calling us to something different. Jesus is calling you to go into A-levels, and maybe you struggle through GCSEs, but he's talking about picking up your mat, walking with him, doing your A-levels well, and not being so stuck in thinking that things can't change because of what you've seen before. So that would be my advice.
That's really, really good advice. I'd write that down because that was very good. I think when it comes to A-levels, when it comes to exams in general, right, there's a culture that we need to speak into as youth ministry. I think it's important. Because I think studying is really important. It is. How are you going to earn? How are you going to get a career? How are you going to do all that jazz without studying? You're not. It is important. But I think I need to ask you this question. Whose standards are you living to? Because if you're living your life according to the standards of God, when it comes to your exams, there are certain things that you won't drop because of exams, like praying, like coming to youth, like coming to church and serving. I see a lot of young people who feel like because exams are going on, that means everything I'm doing with God has to stop. And I really want to speak into that. That's not right. That's not the standards that God's called you to. So Lex said something there, and it really, I just felt God really speak to me about that. What's the fruit at the end of it? See, if your fruit is just, I want to get an A, that's not the fruit of God for your time in A-levels. I want to tell you that right now. God wants the fruit, so the produce, what happens at the end of your time at sixth form, to be that your friends come to know Jesus, that you find and start living in the gifting and the calling that God has for your life, and 3, that you do well in your A-levels. Okay, and I think if your priority, your focus, your standards are all about the A grade, you allow yourself, you give yourself permission to let everything else drop. And you walk out of sixth form with your A, or maybe you don't and you're really disappointed, you walk out with a grade that you didn't want. But if you would trust God throughout sixth form, if you would say, God, I'm going to live according to what you want for me, and this season of my life is yours. If you trust God, put God first, honor God, serve God, not only are you going to walk out with the grade you needed, but you're going to walk out with so much more. You're going to have grown as a person. You'll have grown in your gifts and your talents. And when you put God first, you get where God needs you to be. So you might think, I need to be in Bath doing chemistry. And that's what I thought. I was like, I'm going to do sixth form, and I don't know what else to do. I guess I kind of like chemistry. But I made a decision that I wasn't going to let A-levels rule my life. I was just going to serve God. And so I was like, just serve God, serve God, serve God. Anyway, right, I didn't do very well in chemistry. And that wasn't because of serving God. It's because if I'd listened to God in the first place, I never would have picked chemistry because I'm rubbish at it. I just sort of picked it because my mates are in it and I love a laugh. But what I did was, because I trusted God, no matter what the outcome of my A-levels was, God got me exactly where he needed me to be. All right? God has blessed me like crazy. I know that I'm under the favor of God. And that's all I need. All I need in my life is to be where God wants me to be, serving God, doing what God's called me. All right, you can get as many fancy cars, Gucci bags, whatever you, like there's all these material things that you could grind for, you can hustle, you can go to the gym, you can get the muscles or the body you want, you can do whatever you want, you can grind, chase your standard, chase your expectations, chase what you think is right, and you'll end up a mess. But if you would just put God first, and just say, God, I'm making a decision, and as I go through every change in life, that change is going to be defined by you. So, because guess what, right? After A-levels, guess what comes around the corner? If you make a decision in your GCSEs, your A-levels, to put them above God, guess what happens when you come to uni and you enter into second year? Because first year is easy. Second year, oh my days. As soon as you get into second year, you're like, what? I've not learned anything. Oh my days, got to study. I've got to write 8,000 bajillion words and do this coursework and do that. And suddenly, your habit that you developed during change, the habit that you developed of putting that before God, will come to the surface again. Suddenly, where are you in church? Where are you in youth? Oh, they're nowhere to be seen. They're not turning up anymore because they've got to study. What are you studying for? Studies aren't going to go with you when you're dead. I'm not being funny, right? But all that matters is what you do for God, genuinely. All right? It is important that you study because some of you, that is what God's called you to. That is your calling. And I don't want you to walk out of this live stream and be like, well, I don't feel called to maths, so I'm just going to bun it off because Ellis told me to. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is put God first. And when you put God first, God asks excellence of you in every area, okay? Which means, yes, try hard. You know, education is really important and it's a gift, it's a privilege. But the important thing is this, you set your priorities right. Because guess what? Out of uni comes a job. Suddenly, your job's asked you to take up more hours and a promotion, and suddenly you're not serving anymore. And you get to the end of your life,
That's true.
and you've never really put God first, and you've just always missed it. You've always just been on the outside, always been on the fringes of what God's doing, because you had another priority. So extraordinary youth, make God your priority. Don't just do it because I'm telling you to. Do it because he is telling you to. All right? All right, we're going to move on to the next question before I just preach.
We've got a few
okay.
questions in the chat as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
go for it.
So we've got a question. It says, what are practical ways to cope with change when loads of things are changing at the same time?
Anyone want to jump in?
Good question.
Some
That is a
practicalities on
great
change?
question.
Pedro's feeling it.
Pedro
He's
and his
feeling
uni
it.
life.
Look,
Deadlines,
it's going to take
Get in
racing.
the zone.
Okay. Can you repeat the question one more time?
What are practical ways to cope with change when loads of things are changing at the same time?
Okay. Preparation. I'd say failure to prepare is just preparing to fail. So make sure
Preaching up
make sure you're
Pastor.
preparing.
I'm raising my
I'd say-
hand to respond.
I'd say make a schedule, make a timetable so that you can set aside time for serving or praying, doing whatever needs to be done. And if it's revising or like whatever it is, I think a schedule or timetable is probably the best
Yeah.
way to
That's
do
sick.
that.
That's
great
good.
advice.
I find that lists always help me as well. Like schedules, lists. Like if you just write everything down that's in your head, like put it into categories. I sometimes do like a mind map and I'm like, God, all this stuff's going on in my life and I need you to bring stability to this. And so I'm going to write down everything that's going on in my life. Even if it's not just like tasks that you need to do, if it's like something that you've been thinking about, if it's a friendship that you've got that's kind of falling apart at the moment because you're so busy with so many other changes. I think writing everything down and bringing it to God is a really practical way of dealing with it.
That is very good. Okay, Tony, I'm going to come to you for our last question.
Okay.
Time is running out, but I know you've got a lot to say on this one.
Oh, gosh.
All right, last change. I myself have become a Christian. How do I change to start telling other people about Jesus?
I think you should do this. You need to know about this guy. No, you shouldn't do that. Don't do that. It's a terrible idea.
Terrible.
Do you know what? My biggest, not advice, but something I've actually lived out was when I used to try and share it vocally with my friends. I'd clam up. I wouldn't know what to say. I'd come across like an absolute freak. And then I just would walk away being like, oh, God, I've let you down. So I learnt that actually the loudest voice was my actions. Not to necessarily go to my friends, but like, do you know what, you shouldn't be smoking behind the bike shed, or you shouldn't be seeing that guy. When we were having, well, not that guy, like, that's cool, like, you're married, it's different. But I mean, like, instead of being just a voice to keep bringing correction, when I had a relationship there with my close friends, obviously I'd speak into that in love, and they would fully know that it was because I wanted the best for them. But in terms of like my larger group of friends, the best thing I could do was invite them to youth. So be vocal like that. Say, I'm going to youth, do you want to come along? I used to do that. But actually the way that I lived, the way that I didn't join in by swearing, the way that I was painfully honest to my parents and just wouldn't go with the crowd and like smoke and do silly things. I think the way that you conduct yourself at school speaks louder than what you can say to your group of friends.
That is so good. Really good. Why don't we give it up for Tony? That was very good. Yeah, I think Tony's right. Actions do speak louder than words. School's tough, right? It's tough to fit in. And I know a lot of you can be really tempted to just speak the way your friends speak, watch the same things, listen to the same things. That's what's easy. That's the easy route, to just fit in, to just do what everyone else is doing. But what Tony was saying is so powerful. When you change, when you make a change in your life, when you meet Jesus and you're like, do you know what? I'm going to live for God with everything I do, the way I speak, what I spend my time doing. That change alone will be like you're preaching every time you meet them, to them. And you're preaching without any words at all. Because they see not only that you're living different, but there's something different about you. And what they don't realise is it's Jesus. That peace that is with you wherever you go. The presence of God. Because when you say yes to Jesus, God comes to dwell with you. Like, how amazing is that? Like, wherever you are, God is. He's in your heart. That's what we do. We say yes to Jesus, and you're literally going, God, dwell in my heart. Live with me. Be with me. Wherever I go, I'm living for you. They will see that. They might not be able to put a pin on it, but they'll see it. And God will bring the right time. You don't have to force the Jesus conversation. There's nothing more awkward than trying to like force it. It always comes up naturally. Whether it's at hard times, whether it's at random conversations. I've had so many conversations with my friends about God, about faith, about Jesus. And, you know, the conversations that are always the deepest, the most impactful, is when I'm vulnerable and honest about my own story. Because nothing gets past your friends, right? My friends knew me. Knew me. They knew who I was when I wasn't going to church. So if I ever try and pull a fast one on them and try and be something I'm not, they'll see it. So I'll just be honest. Yeah, no, I did say that. And yeah, I do regret doing that. And yeah, I did swear at that person. And yeah, I did spread that rumor. But look, listen, God's done something in my life. And you be you. You be vulnerable. You be honest. You tell them your story. You tell them what God has done. And they'll either accept it or they won't. Your job is to tell them, not to make them believe. Your job is to simply share Jesus. And that is the end of our Other Side series. Why don't we give it a round of applause? Right, so we are going to jump off the stage and we're going to hand over to our wonderful hosts.
Woo! How great are these guys? Don't we just love them?
That was so good.
Yeah, it was literally
So
amazing.
good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, how do you follow that? Didn't
I
they do
know,
great?
literally.
But we're really we're excited to have this time with you guys. We're really excited that actually God's going to do something in your life. And if you feel like it's quite a long time from a Friday to when you're going to meet your friends on Monday, that's the word. You know what? We have church on Sunday. Like the best start to the week. So yeah, just be great if you book in and turn up and just have a great time with God, a great time with us. We're all going to be here. Yeah.
Don't forget, Park next week, Friday.
Next
Come
week.
on.
Woo. Make sure as well you're following us on socials because that's how you're going to get all the information. And if you're not in an XY group, make sure you're plugged in because we'll be sending all the information through that as well. Yeah, have a wonderful weekend, guys.
Yeah, see you guys later.
Catch you next week.
Bye.